You have no obligation to meet other people's expectations of what you should achieve. I have no obligation to be the person they expect me to be. That's their mistake, not my failure. It's generally wise to consider others' opinions to some extent, as they might offer valuable insights. But obsessing over them to the point of spending hours worrying about what others might think can cause us great distress. It's not only potentially harmful but also unnecessary. This video discusses why, using various concepts from psychology and philosophy. When we let our happiness rely on others' approval, we surrender control over our emotional well-being. With this mindset, it feels great when people like us, but when they don't, we feel sad and angry. Especially today, in the era of social media, many people prioritize others' approval above all else. Positive attention becomes essential for happiness, which then depends entirely on the opinions of those we're trying to impress. This can even turn into an addiction. Many of the people we seek to impress are strangers. Moreover, many of their opinions are fickle, often without substance, or even completely ignorant. So why should we waste our time trying to make them like us? Chances are we don't even like them. Stoic philosopher Seneca addressed this, and I quote, "How mad is he who leaves the lecture room in a happy frame of mind simply because of applause from the ignorant? Why do you take pleasure in being praised by a man whom you yourself cannot praise? It's beyond your control." The problem with worry is that our minds try to control the uncontrollable. People's opinions are ultimately not up to us, so there's not much we can do to stop them from disliking us. Now, this doesn't mean we cannot influence what other people think. As a variation of the dichotomy of control, a concept from Stoicism, philosophy professor and author William B. Irvine proposed the trichotomy of control. The dichotomy of control, as presented by Epictetus, distinguishes between things that are within our control and things that aren't. The trichotomy of control, however, offers three categories: things over which we have complete control, things over which we have no control at all, and things over which we have some, but not complete control. Other people's opinions fall into the second and third categories. Sometimes there's nothing we can do about what others think. For example, we cannot change what someone said to us in the past, and we cannot change our parents' disapproval of us once they're gone. But we can influence people in the present with our words and actions. Even though our behavior could be incredibly influential, the results are still not up to us. Therefore, worrying about what's happening in others' minds is futile, and we're better off focusing on our own actions. It's a reflection of them, not you. Often how people react to us directly reflects themselves and how they feel. When we encounter hostility, indifference, or sadness in response to our actions or even our presence, it may not always be personal. These people could be expressing parts of their unconscious without realizing it. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung referred to this phenomenon as projection. Jung believed that people tend to push unwanted aspects of themselves into the unconscious parts of their mind, which he called a shadow. As a result, we unconsciously recognize in others what we recognize in ourselves. We tend to dislike in others what we dislike in ourselves, leading to an adverse emotional reaction. Psychology today explains projection as follows. Unconscious discomfort can cause people to attribute unacceptable feelings or impulses to someone else to avoid confronting them. Projection lets the difficult trait be addressed without the individual fully acknowledging it in themselves. End quote. Jung suggested that projections transform the world into a mirror of one's unknown self. We all see the world through a unique lens, and the unconscious significantly influences how we relate to our environment. Understanding this can help us put other people's opinions into perspective. You're not the center of the universe. When we try to grasp the vastness of the universe, we begin to realize our own insignificance. While we might experience ourselves as the center of everything because we see it through our own eyes, most would agree that we are not. But of course, we can never be sure. Solipsism is the idea that only one's mind is sure to exist, as we cannot prove that the external world, including other minds, is real. To this day, one cannot experience the existence of minds other than one's own. If your mind is the only mind in existence, other people's opinions are merely illusions not worth worrying about, as they aren't real. But even if that's the case, then other people's opinions truly matter. But if everyone has minds like ours and are just as absorbed in their own issues, they're likely not thinking about us as much as we believe. Furthermore, most people are so occupied with worrying about what others think of them that they don't have the time to closely observe the very people they're trying to impress. In the bigger picture, opinions are fleeting and unpredictable, and our mistakes are quickly forgotten, just like the times we've impressed someone. As Marcus Aurelius said, so many who were remembered are already forgotten, and those who remembered them are long gone. It destroys authenticity. Worry too much about others' opinions, and you'll become a follower, nervously trailing the crowd. If you act according to others' wishes, you'll be living by their expectations and ideals. German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche detested the herd mentality many people have. He distinguishes between Herren- und Sklavenmoral, or master and slave morality. Those at the top are the strong-willed who create values and rules. The many at the bottom, the herd, follow but also resist their oppressors. Instead of striving to rise, those with a slave morality want others to stay at their level. Among the obedient, mediocre, and uniform members of the herd, once part of the mass, they expect you to be just like them. If you stand out, the herd sees you as bad. If you go against norms, you might even be considered dangerous, as people often fear what's unfamiliar. Within the group, conformity is a virtue, and authenticity is a threat. Nietzsche urges his readers to be neither master nor slave, but to rise above this system and become an authentic, self-fulfilled person. One can only achieve greatness by ignoring the opinions of the herd and their preset virtues, and boldly creating one's own path. Life is too short. A survey of 2,000 British adults known as the National Worry Audit revealed that people in Britain spend around 6.5 years of their lives worrying. Many of these worries are about, directly or indirectly, the opinions of others. For example, on a daily basis, 28% of Brits worry about their appearance, 21% worry about what to wear, and 17% worry about body odor. Considering the average life expectancy in Britain is 81 years, this means they spend 8% of their lives worrying. If they stopped worrying about others' opinions, they would gain about 2 additional years to enjoy life or do something meaningful. Despite 81 years seeming long, it's just a fraction of time compared to humanity as a whole, not to mention planet Earth. Many die young, as human life is fragile and can be lost in an instant. Wasting this brief, vulnerable existence on worrying about others' thoughts is pointless. The short and unpredictable nature of life serves as a powerful reminder to eliminate this harmful habit. As Seneca wrote, "You live as if you were destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your head." You don't consider how much time has already passed. You squander time as if you drew from a full and abundant supply, though all the while the day you bestow on some person or thing could be your last. You have all the fears of mortals and all the desires of immortals. You know yourself best. While others can provide valuable outside perspectives on your behavior, you are the one who knows yourself the best. Despite how close we get to others, our minds remain private, often not reflecting what we show to the world. Carl Jung's model of the psyche includes several parts: the persona, the ego, the self, the shadow, and the animus or anima. Of these, the persona is what we present to the world, a thin layer of the self. Jung described it as a kind of mask, designed on the one hand to make a definite impression upon others, and on the other to conceal the true nature of the individual. Some people are intuitive and can see through the cracks of our masks, noticing behaviors we may not be aware of. However, they can never be certain of our true motives, secrets, and hidden personality traits because these are known only to ourselves. Thus, people's thoughts about us, based on what they perceive, often don't match reality. While feedback from others can be helpful, the real truth lies within us. Deep down, we know what we want, and the more we stay true to that, the more authentic we become, reducing our tendency to conform to others' expectations. Thank you for watching.